Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes, and I'm live right now in Maui, Hawaii, doing an international broadcasting to all four corners of the world. Guys, I wanted to hold this mentoring session here today because, when people get into an opportunity, especially when you're talking about online marketing, there's in their mind, okay, I want you to know that this is all right here, okay? In their mind, there's all of these different moving parts, okay? And it can be a little bit daunting and it can be a little bit confusing because they really don't know what to do. Okay, so what I want to do today is I want to break things down for you into very, very simple, easy to understand terms so that you can really understand how do you merge these two worlds, okay, between the real world, where here we are right now, but technically we're actually online, so this is a little bridge, and then the online reality that's kind of out in cyberspace, okay? How do you bridge these two realities together, okay? So what I want to do here is I want to turn back the clock, and I want for you to understand about what is networking. What is it? Okay, what is networking and how does it work? Because once you understand that, okay, then you can learn how to bridge that over into an online sort of scenario. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna tell you about networking. Okay, now most people that come from a retail environment, or maybe they're in a position where I just got to mute out the line there, actually, just so I can have a clear line. Okay, so in the event that you've come from just a regular retail world, or let's say that you're selling cars or you're selling real estate, okay, all of those models, they're very features and benefits driven. Okay, so I've got a new Cadillac and it's got power steering and it's got power brakes and it's got X amount of horsepower and it's got leather interior and it's got certain bells and whistles, okay, within that car. Okay, so if I'm going to sell that particular car, it's really those features and benefits that that person would be looking for. Well, I don't want that because I wanted power steering, right? Oh, I don't want that one because I wanted power brakes, right? It's a very features and benefits driven business model, okay? So, and that's where most people come from. They come from that type of reality, which is very features and benefits driven. Let me tell you why this product is so good and why you need this product, right? That's where most people come from. That's the reality that most people come from, okay? Very features and benefits driven. So a lot of times you see people get into a vitamin company or something to do with a juice or something, and they're talking about their ORAC value and the antioxidants and all the ingredients, and I'm telling you, I sleep good, I feel good, you gotta try this product, right? That's the reality that most people come from, and they can never figure out why they never actually get lift off in their business, okay? Because they're features and benefits driven, and all they get is what's called pushback. Pushback. I'm not interested. Right? I'm not interested. I'm telling you, man, you got to try this stuff. You just got to try it. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. That's typically what most people get in this type of a business model because they've never been properly trained, okay? So that's a features and benefits model. Now, in networking, okay, there's a couple of things that are really, really important about networking, and the one most important thing that I will tell you is that it's very casual. You have to drop your energy really down, okay, for networking. It's very casual, okay? There's no hype, there's no get in now, there's no lock your spot, there's no, I got this thing, you got to take a look at this thing, right? Forget about that, okay? Because I'm telling you, you will get more pushback, okay? Pushback. So there's a couple of people here on the line here with me, Chad Turner, we've got Jamie, we've got Mary, and we've got Tony Cohen from New York. Guys, some of you have been through some of my trainings, others of you haven't. But I'm just going to reach out to Chad Turner really quickly, because Chad's having some great success using some of the chat strategies, some of the relationship building strategies. Chad, can you just share with us, having gone through my training, what would you say is the most important part of a home-based business industry, or being able to get a person to purchase something or to be able to recruit them? What's the number one most important thing that you've got to be able to establish with that person?
By far, the relationship. By far. And beyond that, then it's about belief and mindset. Because if they don't believe it, they're not going to do anything.
Okay. So, guys, hear what Chad is saying here, okay? The number one most important thing, if you're looking to get a lot of recruiting, right, is a relationship, okay? Now, typically, here's what I will tell you about relationships, okay? People typically will do business with people that they know, like, and trust, and they will also do business with people that they're either like or that they aspire to be like, okay? Now, how are you going to get a person to like you? Okay, this is critical, especially if you're just starting brand new and you want to get good at becoming a good recruiter, right? Chad, how do you what's this strategy that I talk about within your first 5 minutes that will get somebody to start to like you?
First 5 minutes, you really are just going to find a few things in common and break the ice and change their state. You know, get them to laugh. That's number one thing right there.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, guys, so what I want for you to understand here today, as we're going through this, okay, now keep in mind, Chad has been going through Millionaire Mentoring for 90 days right now. Okay, now he's a little bit more advanced, okay, I will tell you that, because he did a lot more homework than most people do. Okay, he went to my YouTube channel, he watched a bunch of Millionaire Mentoring and training, plus he's already been on the path of personal development for a significant amount of time. Okay, and this industry of the home-based business industry is really personal development disguised as a business. It's really a leadership business model, okay? So if you want to be able to be a good networker, you have to be able to get people to like you, right? Because they won't open up. Imagine you've got all of these people and they're locked shut. They're like clams, right? They're locked shut. Now normally if you're going to open up a clam, right, you got to stick a knife in it and pry it open, right? Or you can just put it in some steam and it just gently opens up and now it's ready to eat, right? That's the same thing with networking. Now, what's going to get that person to open up? If you can find 3 things in common in the first 5 minutes, okay, people will start to like you, and they won't even know why, guys. Okay, this is a phenomenon. Okay, now thankfully I had a really good millionaire mentor when I started. So what he said to me is, Darren, you know, stop talking about your company, stop talking about your products, start asking questions about the other person. Okay? Start asking questions about the other person. Find things in common, okay? Now, here's what I will tell you. In networking, if you're good, right, if you're a good networker, something or someone other than you is going to talk about your business. Something or someone other than you is going to talk about your business. Now, in our particular case, we have a video. Okay, so as soon as somebody says, you know, Darren, tell me about your deal. I even have people that say, hey, Darren, what MLM are you in? Okay, now most people would go, I'm in XYZ company. Here's my link. Right? That's what most people do. I don't do that. Right? Here's what I do. Let's say that Tom sends me, hey, Darren, what MLM company are you in? Right? I'm not going to send my link right away. I'm going to say, hey, Tom, how's it going? How's your day so far? Because why? Why would I want to do that? Chad, why would I want to do that?
It's funny that you mentioned this because it just happened to me today. Well, it happens quite often. But yeah, I mean, you just don't want to, give away the farm right away. Essentially, you don't have any leverage yet. You haven't defined a problem or a solution or their passion.
Exactly. Okay, so listen to what Chad has just said. You've got no leverage. Okay, you've got no leverage. Now, what is leverage? Leverage is when I have what's called a warm and fuzzy, right? When two people get to a part where they get to this, right? And they find some things in common, and they laugh a little bit. They start to magnetically be pulled to one another, right? And their hearts open up. Okay, it's called a warm and fuzzy. Now, if you get good at this, guys, if you get good at asking people questions, now here's what I will tell you about the questions. The person that asks the questions controls the conversation. All right? Now, if somebody asks a question, they're in control. Now, how do you get back control? You ask a question to their question, right? That's how you gain control back of the conversation. So whoever is asking questions is in control. Remember, this is critically important, okay, in business. Whoever is asking questions is in control. Now, when I take that onto social media, I have a huge advantage. Why? Why do I have a huge advantage on social media? Imagine you're in this gigantic lounge, okay? Now, instead of me looking over and say, hey, there's a cool-looking person over there in the red dress, right? Or, hey, that guy's got a really cool suit on and he's got really nice shoes. I'll bet they're really successful. I want to find out more about what they do, okay? Now, here's the difference in social media. Imagine I'm in that same lounge, right, in real life, and all of a sudden in the corner of my eye, it goes, and I got this huge printout of everything, guys, everything. I got pictures of their family. I know what they do. I can look at their about section. I can find out what city they're from. I can find out where they went to university. I can get all this data, right, on that person before I even say hello. Holy cow, are you for real? Right? That's powerful, okay? Now, when it comes to social media, this is the one thing that I say a lot, okay? A lot. Probably between 25 and, if I'm really on a roll, as many as 75 times in a single day. Okay, here's what it is. Hey, Chad, how's it going? How's your day so far? Darren. There's one contact. Now, whether or not he answers or not, it does not matter, okay? Because I've put out a contact, right? And there's going to be the possibility, it might not happen today, but tomorrow or the next day or someplace in the future, Chad's going to say, pretty good, Darren, how about yourself? That's the start of a relationship. Now, here's the cool thing. I can now go to his wall. I can look at his pictures. I can compliment him on his kids. I can ask him how long he's lived in a certain city. I can see things that I might have in common with him. Hey, I see that you saw that certain movie. Like, wasn't that great? I mean, now here's what I do, guys. I talk to these people like they're my best friends. They're my best friends, right? Now, if you do this, you will be able to get a person very, very quickly to an LOL. When you do that, you're in. Okay, remember that. If you can get a person, if you're pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter, right? So, here's an example. Somebody says they're from Florida, right? So it's like, hey, I see you're from Florida. And they go, yeah. I go, oh man, I love oranges, right? And they'll typically come back with LOL, right? I know that I'm getting to this, right? Now, as a good networker, okay, if I'm talking about warm market versus cold market, okay, now as a warm market networker, this is what I do. Okay, now I can tell you that I've used these strategies to raise tens of millions of dollars and make millions of dollars myself, okay, just using warm market strategies in real business, guys, okay? These strategies are transferable skills into any area. I'm talking about venture capital. I'm talking about hiring management teams, board of directors, advisory boards, joint venture contracts, sponsorship deals, getting companies to give me stuff for free, right? All of this stuff is based upon the same principles. Okay, so how does it work? What I do is there's typically two places that a person is at on their life path, okay? Because a person goes into these type of situations in their life path, okay? So, Chad, tell me what those two situations would be. Either this or that. What are they?
Either a peak or a valley.
Okay. So a person is either in a peak, that means they're doing phenomenal in their life, or they're in a valley and they're not doing good at all. They're actually struggling and they're in a spiral. Okay, so typically if a person's on their life path, they're either in a peak or a valley, a peak or a valley. Now, when I reach out, touch base, and say a quick hello, all I want to do is find out. That's it. I don't have to pitch them on anything, guys. I don't have to pitch them on anything. I just want to, hey Tom, Darren Little here, just want to reach out, touch base, say a quick hello. What's happening in your world? Okay? Now, if I can change that person's state and I can get them to laugh, guess what magically happens? They start telling me everything in their life. And I'm not kidding when I tell you guys, everything. If their marriage is on the rocks, I find out, okay? If they're having problems with their kids, I find out, right? If they're behind on their mortgage, they tell me. If their home's going into foreclosure or their car's been repoed or they've got credit card debt, they tell me. Now, I'm telling you, a lot of times, guys, I'm talking about complete total strangers here. I've never even met them before. Now, how could that possibly be? How could I get somebody who's a complete, total stranger to literally open up and bare their entire soul? I'm not kidding you guys, okay? Marriage, debt, credit card, foreclosure, job being fired, laid off, parents being sick, everything that's going on in their life, they literally open up like I'm, their psychiatrist or something. How the heck is that possible? How's that possible? Chad, tell me how that's possible.
It's possible through getting them to like you, getting that relationship and that connection.
Okay, great. Now, how are you going to be able to do that? A lot of people say to me, Darren, can you really recruit new reps in 6 to 45 minutes? Like, how's that possible? Here's how it's possible, guys, especially with social media, okay? If I know that my market, right, that's out there, that's going to be my preferred business partners are already into personal development, right? They already go to see Tony Robbins. They already go to see Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. They already read Think and Grow Rich. They already are on the path of personal development. They listen to Les Brown and Brian Tracy and Dennis Waitley and Zig Ziglar. They know all of these people, right? So if you're good at marketing, you're going to get very good at what's called speaking to the listening. Speaking to the listening. Now, if I ask a question about personal development, guess what magically happens? All of my target market comes to participate. Make sense? That's called speaking to the listening, right? So if I'm constantly putting out interactive content, right, that speaks to my target market, guess who magically shows up? People that are on that path, okay? So it's important for you to know, if you're a good marketer, you start to get very good at speaking in your writing to the listening, right? You know that your writing is going to target a specific audience to hear, right? That's why you'll see me talking a lot about mindset, a lot about motivation, a lot about fear, because fear is a big one, guys, in this industry, okay? That's why I tell people is to, you want to be a top recruiter? Book yourself into the Firewalk. And I'm not kidding. Book yourself into the Anthony Robbins Firewalk and get that done and over with, right? Because you'll step right into your power, guys, right? No excuses. You really want to become a millionaire? I'm telling you this. I've done that Firewalk 2 times. The glass walk, I think 6 times, where you walk on broken glass and bare feet. 8 times with the arrow straight here, right here. Okay, lunging forward into the wall with an arrow pushing right here into the neck. Okay, these are fear-busting seminars, and I highly, highly recommend people going through this if you really want to go from here to become a top producer. Okay, where you've got no fear. So when it comes to recruiting, okay, people say, Darren, how is it possible to be able to recruit 4, 5, 6, my best day is 7 people in one day? Okay, how's that possible? It's possible in a number of ways. And I want to share this with you guys today because this is one area that I don't see very many people doing, right? I'll be honest with you. Here's the secret. If I put out content and I now focus on a specific problem and how I have a solution to the problem, but where are they going to get the solution? Behind door number 1, okay? So I focus on a problem, I found the solution to the problem, and the answer is behind door number 1. That's called a lead capture page. That's going to now start to build my list, right? Now, a lot of people, what they do is they might go out and spend some money on traffic, right? But here's what they forget. Here's the main component, guys, the most critical part. If I have a relationship with you and we're talking like this, right, I have got a way better opportunity to get to this, okay, if we're doing this, right? Because we're having a mutual exchange. In the event that you're buying traffic and you're taking it through a lead capture page and people are watching a video, now I can tell you this, if it was me, you don't think that I would want to know who I'm working with? You don't think that me as a leader is going to get that first email and go, who is this guy? Darren Little, enter. What comes up on Google? You don't think I'm going to go to YouTube and go, Darren Little, enter, and watch some videos to see who I'm dealing with before I'm going to partner up with a person? Think about it, right? So if you're going to go from the reality of offline, which is all about relationships, it's all about the touchy, feely, and now you're going to bring that reality onto the internet, and you're not going to step into your power and be a leader, guys, It's not good. Money's not going to fall from the sky. I'll tell you that for fact. Okay. So if you're not prepared to put yourself out there, exactly like what I'm doing right here, where you're giving value to the people, live, like this, do not expect for your recruiting to go through the roof, because it will not. And you certainly will not have people throwing $4,000 at you for becoming a black card member. It won't happen. It won't happen. It's way more than just saying, oh, hey, let's go drive some traffic, right? Now, can you fast track that, right? When I talk about automation, what am I talking about? I'm talking about being able to build a list, coming up with some good copy where I'm going to communicate with those people and get them to show up so I can have a conversation with them. Right, this year. Okay, so if this part right here is missing, how are those people going to look up to you as being a leader? Let me ask you this. How's that possible?
They can't.
Is that possible? When there's no any type of interaction, no value, anything, no communication, how's that? Would you do that? Pat, let me ask you that. I mean, you know, are you live there? Can we hear you?
No, you can't. I don't think you can.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Wouldn't you want to know, Pat, who you were getting into business with?
Absolutely.
You would, right? Especially if you're going to, you know, spend $4,000. I mean, certainly you would want to know who's going to be mentoring you or how you're going to get value and
Yes.
whose team you're going to be on. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want for you guys to understand is this. You know, I like to teach people what they can do for free, because that's where I started, guys. Okay, I just started on paid traffic, guys. I just started. November. It was my first real shot at consistently doing paid traffic. But here's who I followed. I followed the model that I saw David Wood doing because he's having massive success. What does Dave Wood do? Just look at the Empower Network weekly stuff, right? Does Dave Wood just do his blogging? No, he does his blogging, that builds his list, right? He sends out emails and he lassos those people around for a webinar, right? So if you're missing parts of the formula, how would you expect to get the same type of results? You can't, right? So you want to be able to mirror and model. This is what I learned from Tony Robbins, guys. Tony said, Darren, if you ever want to get success in anything in life, doesn't matter what it is, you want to lose weight, find somebody that's your weight, right, that's lost the weight and kept it off, and ask them what they did, right? You duplicate what they did, you will get the same results as them, right? Whatever it is. You want to become a millionaire in networking? Find somebody who made $1 million in networking and ask them what they did. How did they do it? What's their strategy? How did they implement that, right? Do what they did and you'll get the same type of results. So here's what I found, guys. Here's what I found from my experience over 25 years of networking, is that business is about relationships. Okay? People only do business with people that they know, like, and trust, people that they're either like and they aspire to be like. How am I going to get somebody to know, like, and trust me, right, without them having some sort of real human being touch like this? It's not possible. That's why video is so powerful. That's why, Pat, where I'm telling you, when I put standing ovation to Pat, because I'm telling you what, you found your calling, young lady. You found your calling on video.
Yes.
Right? Because some people have this wall, this barrier, where they won't allow themselves to open up to become vulnerable. They won't allow that. Right? So don't expect to take your life from 0 to hero, guys. Okay? If you're not prepared to face your fears, and if you're not prepared to put yourself out like this. Now, here's what I will tell you. This is what I do. Okay, now, doesn't make this right or wrong. I'm just telling you this is what I do. let's say that I put a post in the group today, and it's like, hey guys, I'm going to do Millionaire Mentoring at 6 p.m. PST. Who's in? And people went, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in. Okay. So, and I sent it out to the group, right? Let's say that nobody showed up. Nobody. I'm still doing it, right? I'm still doing Millionaire Mentoring, and I'm talking to my screen, giving value. Why? Because that's going to turn into a recording, and somebody's going to type in Millionaire Mentoring, and guess who's popping up? Me. And they're going to be I'm going to have a conversation with that person. I'm going to talk to that person like they are right there. I'm staring at them right in the face. And I'm going to say, you know what? Have you ever had a time where, you know, you get up and you stub your toe on the corner of your bed, and you just know that it's going to be a bad day, right? Just from that, right? You jump in the shower, you haven't had enough sleep, right? You haven't had enough sleep, you're groggy, right? You go to your cupboard, you're out of coffee, right? You go to the drive-through, it's so big, you know that if you go through the lineup, you're going to miss that little tiny window to get on the freeway, right? Now you're cranky, right? Now you get to work, the gate doesn't work in the underground parking, so you park on the street, you get a ticket, right? Your boss is yelling at you all day because you were 5 minutes late for work. That's called speaking to the listening guys, right? Now, whether or not anybody was here, it doesn't matter. If they're here, I'm happy to, you know, we'll have a little interaction here. But if nobody showed up, I'm doing Millionaire Mentoring. Now, that's what you got to take away from today. You got to really understand this, that if you really want to be, you know, the magic number, guys, the magic number, guess what it is? $10,000 a month. That's the magic number. That's what everybody says. Well, not everybody, but like 85 to 90% of people, when you say, how much money do you need per month to be able to walk away from your job, they say $10,000 a month, okay? Now, I will tell you this. If you follow this formula that I'm going to lay out for you, it's actually very easy, okay? Well, I wouldn't say it's easy because most people won't do the easy, simple things. Here's what you've got to be able to do. You've got to take out this stigma, right, feeling that you're going to be rejected by saying, hey, Tom, how's it going? How's your day going so far? Guys, do you know that I say that so many times in the day that it just goes like butter? Hey, Tom, how's it going? How's it going so far? Hey, Mary, how's it going? Hey, Bob. Hey, John. Hey, how's it going? How's it going so far? Right? Because I want to get to this. How am I going to get to that? Asking questions, finding things in common. Now, I'm going to reach out to Tony here really quickly. Tony, let me ask you this. What are some areas in a person's life that they could be having pain? Well, give me some things. What are some of the things that they could be going on in their life that could create pain for them?
5 main reasons that I've been working on recently. Financial is always something. It's that constant rat race, hamster wheel, working to pay bills, blah, 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 blah. Spiritual, not in a religious way, in a feeling of somehow being lost or disconnected or unsure of their path, unsure of where they're going, unsure of where they're at. That is determined by generally by their circle of 5, the 5 people they spend the most time with. Emotional, which is on so many levels. It could be now emotional, a lot of it is relationship based. So it could be a relationship with their spouse or partner, with their kids, with their boss, with their neighbors. It could be something in their past that have not let go, their parents. Mental, it's just a constant battle. You know, why am I here, or what am I doing, or, you know, I just need to shut off, or I just, you know, I'm not getting any enjoyment out of life, or, I wish I didn't live here, or I wish I wasn't doing this, or I wish I had a new job. Mental, physical, you mentioned before about losing weight. So many people, you know, probably like yourself, I used to be in that industry. So many people are unhappy about it. What it takes to go through it encompasses all the other ways, and people make all the, and they're all aligned with everything else. So if someone is 100 pounds overweight, it's not just a physical issue. It then becomes a mental issue, because that's constantly their fear of what will people think if they go in the gym with the big sweatpants on, their fear of what will their neighbors think if they're eating salads instead of burgers, their fear, and a lot of it is from the outside, fear of other people and other people's perceptions. But, you know, you take that as an example. This applies to everything. Money is a very touchy one. A lot of the time people don't want other people to know their financial situation. So if you take one thing, and I'm using weight loss, it could be anything. Emotional, worried about what others think, worried about the partner thinks, worried about what the kids think. Scared to, my stepsister would never go to pick the kids up from school, pick her kids up from school, because she was obese. So my stepmother ended up doing it. And it affects everything. Mental. If, you know, there's a Zig Ziglar thing where he talks about if you go to bed as a fat person in your mind, you're going to wake up as a fat person in your body.
Yeah.
Financial could be used as an excuse. Well, I want to lose weight, but I can't afford to eat healthy. I can't afford to go to the gym. The thing becomes encompassing, and it's like this big vortex, and it's hinging on one simple thing. So just listening to what you're saying there, my phone is going nuts constantly, which is always good. Sometimes we get in that spot where a lot of it, especially with this industry, is this, let's face it, the stigma it has to people that don't understand it in terms of what will the neighbors say. And, you know, I went through it as well. I would dress it up as all kinds of bullshit. You know, it's the same as financial advisors. You sell insurance. You're an insurance salesperson. You're not a financial advisor. That would be an accountant. But we dress it up. And the fear in something specifically like this industry is, if I approach someone with something, what will they think of me? And the general fear, you know, false evidence appearing real, the general fear is external.
You're right.
It's not external. The fear is, what does anyone else think? And I know people I've worked with in this industry that might have a six-figure-a-year income corporate type position where they almost run two lives. They run like a Walter Mitty thing. When, you know, I've not been in this industry a long time, but my I was going to say my learning, but my learning what not to do was 2 years in the supplement industry. And, you know, I had a mentor whose whole approach was pitch anyone within 3 meters of you. And I basically became how to lose and piss people off. And it didn't work, and I didn't know. And the final thing I'm just going to say here, and this is right on it, I'll give it right back to you. My attorney, she was vice president of one of the big life insurance companies, and she was in charge of human resources, and she got a severance thing. So she went traveling for 6 months, you know, in her 40s, early 40s, went traveling for 6 months, backpacking on her own around the world. She was really into the fitness thing. I met up with her, got her in that business, and something that was key, where she was trying to, you know, she was a bit uncomfortable with it, but I really didn't know what I was doing. So it was like the blind leading the blind. I'm following a guy that was teaching me incorrectly, or a way that didn't work for me, and I'm trying to translate that to other people. And something that was core is she spoke with one of her old corporate friends about, you know, getting in shape. She ended up being a health coach and a nutritionalist, this lady, so she got some good out of it. She spoke to one of her old corporate friends, and they said, why are you doing that? Why are you networking? Why are you involved in that? Da, 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 da. And she felt a bit off about it. She mentioned it to her boyfriend at the time, And he summed it up. He said, I thought you're trying to get away from those corporate people. I thought you don't like those people anymore. Why would you ask them their opinion? Because their mindset is in a completely different place, number one. They're not going to give you the blessing thing. They're going to try and talk you out of it. And he said, I thought you tried to get out of that life. Why would you try and introduce your new life to your old life? Are you seeking their approval? He said, because if you try and do that, it's not going to happen. Go look in the mirror and seek your own approval. And this is the fear thing. Overall, over everything else, on those 5 different levels, and there's more, I'm just summing it up, over everything else, the main fear is, what do other people think? Or as my parents, will the neighbors say?
Exactly, and that's what I really want to focus on here, guys, is this. Stop looking for approval, okay? If you want to be a top recruiter, I have this picture that I focus on when I'm moving into another recruiting phase, and it's a like a desert Jeep or something like that, and it's got this dust trail, okay, literally, okay, it's got a dust trail behind it because I am laser focused going forward so fast, guys, so fast that nothing and nobody is going to stop me, nothing. Okay, and if they get in my way, I'm going to literally blaze them over. Okay, so I don't take it. If somebody's not in my frequency, they're out of my reality. Okay, that's called drawing a line in the sand. I don't care. Somebody says, oh, that's one of those pyramid things. I go, so what do you got planned for the weekend? I don't even answer. Guys, I'm telling you, for real. This is real, okay? Now, here's the other thing that I will tell you. The less that you talk about what you do, the more people want to know. Okay? The less detail that you give them, the more they want to know, right? So I want to get back into the whole concept of recruiting, because if you want to change your life, okay, bring in 2 trial members a day, okay? Obviously, if you bring in more, you're going to do more. Now, what is it going to take to do that, to bring in 2 trial members a day? Okay, I can tell you this. If you tell me that you work a full-time job and you've got no time, I'm going to tell you that when you park your car before you go inside to cut a video, right? It only takes like between 3 and 5 minutes. Okay, so you got no excuse anymore, because that one video is probably going to be viewed between 300 and 1,000 times, right? That's how you start to get a following, right? So somebody goes, well, Darren, I don't have time to sit on Facebook chat. Well, when's the last time you did a video, right? Well, get out of that whole victim mindset, guys, okay? Because it doesn't work. You want to get paid to be a CEO, right? To have CEO income, then be the CEO. This is being a CEO right here. Right? So you can either decide that you're going to do it or don't, right? If you want to, great, cool, make that money. If you don't, okay, cool. Some people get into this industry for dinner money, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? I support everybody that wants to, whatever their path is, guys, whatever their path is. Somebody says, Darren, I'm in this industry because I just want to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. Can you show me how? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. They could use Facebook chat, right? They could do their blog, right? They could do some videos. Obviously, the core line, guys, is going to be personal development, right? So here's an example. Somebody's never done anything before, and I want to just bring this to the attention, okay? Because Pat is not the same person that she was 3 months ago. She's not. How do I know? I had a couple of Millionaire Mentoring sessions with her, and the person that I saw on the video, okay, that she did, is not the same person, guys. It's not. She's gone through a metamorphosis and a transformation. That's who people follow. That's why I'm saying to Pat, you found your calling. Your calling's video. Okay? And as you keep on doing these, you're going to become better and better and better, and all of a sudden, everybody's going to be logging on to their feed because they want to get their daily motivation from Pat, right? That's what happens, guys, really. I've had people that have sent me messages and said, Darren, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have all of your motivational stuff coming on my newsfeed, right? It really has changed my life over the course of this last year. People that are not in my business, they're not on my team, I don't even benefit from them, okay? But they send me these messages on Facebook chat. So that's going to be your core as a person. Personal development, leadership, mindset. Okay, now the next evolution up from that is obviously going to be quantum physics. Speak your reality into existence. Speak about everything that you want, not about everything that you don't want. Because on the side of what you don't want, guys, if stuff's happening in your reality right now that you don't want, there's massive lessons in that, right? You always got to look at, okay, hold on a sec here. Let me just remove myself from myself, be the observer, and say, what was the benefit that I got from that? How did I benefit from this, right? How did that event affect these 4 areas? My deservability, my worthiness, my self-love, and my boundaries, right? Do I need to increase my boundaries? Do I need to love myself more? How did that event, right? What benefit did I get from that? What in a higher awareness, what benefit did I get so that I can be on this path now and not ever have that again, right? How did I benefit? Okay, so let's get back to the recruiting. So here's what I will tell you. If my core message on social media is speaking to the listening, okay, now all of a sudden I'm starting to attract an audience. Now if I focus on a specific problem, right, and I give a little bit of data on what I've done to create a solution to the problem, but guess where they get the solution? What's behind door number 1, okay? Because that's going to build your list, guys. This is critical. Now, as you're building up your list, it's not enough. If you're not now saying, hey, have you had this other problem, right? Well, here's not only how I've solved it, but hear from 2 or 3 of my students that have solved it too by applying this secret sauce, right? On Thursday night at 6 o'clock, come on to a webinar and meet me in person, right? That's the finished part. So in the event that you're not doing that, guys, okay, that's your missing sauce. I can tell you this for a fact. Okay, so if you're doing your chat, right, chat's great in the beginning. What's going to happen over time is that your chat is basically going to become like a job, okay? And after a while, after you get really, really good at it, it's going to start to get a little bit annoying for you because it's almost like you're going into, you know, a job, right? So now you're going to have to learn how to create leverage using the power of the internet. How are you going to do that? This. Okay, because keep in mind, not only can I have 9 other cities open, right? Right now I can be I'm in Maui, I can be in 9 other locations around the world, and the spillage can be all over the world, watching right now on YouTube. Plus, this is now going to become a marketing tool after I'm done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mary, can you see how this particular thing that I'm talking about, if you look at the model that you've sort of been working with right now, can you see any area that this might fill? Mary, you there?
Yep, can you hear me now?
Absolutely.
Yes, I can see.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Mary, because you have a conventional business where you have a food manufacturing company, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So how would you ever be able to sell or get distribution for your food that you're manufacturing if you didn't have people that were out building relationships, connecting with other stores? Would that be possible?
Only if I went out and built those connections myself.
Okay. So what you're saying then is that people typically, if they're going to place an order, they want to know who they're placing the order with. Am I right?
Yeah.
There's some sort of
Yes, they do.
liaison person, right? A liaison, a connector, right? Between the buyer, right, and somebody saying, you know, hey, we got 10 pallets going out on Monday.
Yeah.
How'd that order come in? There's probably a sales rep, right?
Well, there's I do some of that selling. I do some calling, and then I have a couple other distributors that do calling as well. So, and then we just combine it all.
Okay. So, guys, what I want for you to understand here is that Mary's talking about a conventional business model where you know there's a buyer, right? Somebody that's going to cut a check, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's got a manufacturing warehouse that has inventory. And how are the two going to get together? There has to be a connection. No connection, no sale, guys. Okay? Let me ask you this. I got to go get my plug in here, but Tony, let me ask you this, because you've been in you know, high-ticket real estate. Tell people here if it's possible, with zero connection, zero referrals, can you really be a top realtor broker in New York if you're not a people person? I'll be right back.
No chance whatsoever. And I'll tell you a story about this while Darren is stalling for time. I have a friend of mine actually. She came here, moved here from Israel about just over a year ago. In fact, a year ago this week I met her. And she was doing one job, another job, and she wanted to get into real estate. And she was asking me, do I know anyone that sells real estate? Do I want to buy real estate? And I told her one thing. This is New York City. I don't know where everyone else lives. I don't know what it's like. Here, I told her, just go to coffee shops, just go to any event at all. I can't keep a straight face when Chad does that to me. Go to any event at all that's not real estate based. And so what use is that? The real estate events are a waste of time because everyone's doing the same thing. Just go out and meet people. If it's an art show, if it's a something, and something will just happen. You'll know someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone. Or chances are you'll know someone that knows someone. So, well, who do you know? And I went for a coffee with her one day, trying to explain. It's, real estate everywhere is relationship based. In this city more than ever. I don't know how many real estate brokers I know. And what they never ever do, ever, and this is a really competitive market, ever, is pitch me on anything. I have to call them. I'll just call and say, you know what, you've seen this video, I know a few of you have actually, the $10 million apartment tour. So she was just a great friend of mine. And I was doing those walks in and just said, I've got this $10 million apartment, do you want to see it? And I said, I don't have $10 million cash right now, and I don't do mortgages. I said, I know, do you want to see it? I said, absolutely, I'll see it. And then she's been in the business 20 years. I introduced her to the other person who's new at it, and they're working on a deal, and all of a sudden, my friend that's been in it for years just pulls right away. And I said, I wasn't even there, I just connected them. And the person she works with, an investor, pulled right away. And I said, what happened there? He said, well, she starts trying to sell real estate. I said, okay. As far as I can ascertain, real estate in this city is not something, it's a buyer's market. If you've got something that's good, you don't have to try and sell it. And the people who've been in real estate for years just got a bad vibe from her. And then she approached me with a bunch of off market properties. So my first thing, and she's a lovely lady, and you know what? I applaud her going out and doing her own thing. But now it's tainted with whatever deal she's got. Why has she got it and not someone established? Not someone that just works on a relation. I can pick up the phone right now, call someone and say, what are you doing? And it will be 20 high-end real estate brokers in a bar or restaurant somewhere. I can go and join them. Not one of them will ever speak to me about real estate. If I ask them for something, it will come up. They never, ever, ever mention it. And funny, you mentioned Tony Robbins there. The biggest real estate company in this city, Douglas Ellison, Elliman, that's it, Douglas Elliman. So Tony Robbins' main guy was doing a private workshop for them. I trained him the week before in my self-defense thing, and he invited me to this workshop. And this was interesting as far as life goes. These were all relatively high-end New York real estate brokers. I went in there. I knew the ones that were going to walk out before the price got to it at the end. I knew I was going. You know, let's face it, he's doing a free workshop, and the idea is to go on a Tony Robbins course. He's not doing a free workshop for the good of his health. This guy, Dragan, his name is, real good guy. And so he's doing this thing. I'd already pegged out the people that would walk out before money was mentioned, the ones that would walk out when money was mentioned, and the ones that were either on the course or wanted to know more. Out of about, I want to say about 200 people in the room, I'm sat at the back, and I just saw them straight away. And the ones that walked out looked like broke salespeople. You ever seen the movie Glengarry Glen Ross? You'll understand what I mean. The ones that were sat at the front, you're sitting at the front of an event, it's a shame. But the ones that sitting there and just listening and taking it all in weren't busy pitching or anything. I said hello, I made a bunch of connections. Not one person spoke to me about real estate. Not one.
Exactly.
And these
it's all about the relationship. I want to keep this on track, otherwise we're going down a rabbit hole here, Tony, okay? So, guys, what I want to do here is I want to have you guys really understand this. If you're going to be a top recruiter, step number one, you have to believe that it's very, very easy to be a top recruiter. Okay, you literally have to believe that they can come like this very, very quickly, right? It's not difficult. Now, how are you going to be able to do that? If you're not providing value to the marketplace, forget about it. Okay, I can tell you that for fact. If you're not providing value to the market, forget it, because nobody will join you. Okay, there's no difference than, you know, me going to a guy who's selling cars. I want to deal with a successful guy. Same thing with the broker, the real estate broker. I want to deal with a successful guy, right? I want to deal with somebody that stepped into their power, not somebody that's, oh, it doesn't work. Oh. Right? You don't want to be. You want to deal with somebody like that? I certainly don't. Right? So you've got to be able to get here. This is where your recruiting happens, guys. Here. Do you believe that you can bring in 2 reps a day? Right? Now, here's what I will tell you. Prior to going through this training, Chad, have you ever been in a situation where you've personally recruited 4 people in a single day?
Not even close, really.
Okay. So here's what I will tell you. That is an indicator that these are learned skills. That anybody can do them, right? Anybody. If they're prepared to surrender their ego and surrender their pride and say, you know what? If Chad Turner right now is recruiting 4 reps in a single day, then it can be done, okay? If I've been in a situation where just with Empower Network, I've recruited 7 people in a day, it can be done. But here's what I will tell you. What if I told you that with one single email, guys, one email, I recruited over 70 people? One shot, poof, like that. How's that possible? 70 people, boom, like that. right? How's that possible? Here's how it's possible. First thing that you've got to be able to do is you have to start letting your list know you. So if they don't know about your life, and they don't know about you as a human being, and they don't know what value that you have, and they don't know about what books that you recommend, or what programs that you recommend, or what movie that's really cool that you just saw, or what was your revelation that happened when you were on a bike ride that you think that will get value from. Something. Tony's really good at doing his walkabout videos, right? He's just natural at that, right? So Tony will go out into the streets of New York with his video, and he'll talk about life stories, right? And once you start watching, you get pulled right in, right? Now, the wraparound to that, if you want to start to turn that into a marketing tool, the wraparound is that at the beginning, you talk about some sort of a problem. As you go through, right, you take people through a storyline where they're going to get an opportunity to find out more about you and to connect with you. And at the end, there's a solution to their problem, and then you send them someplace where they can get it. What's behind door number 1, right? Now, without that, you can't build a list. Does that make sense? Right? So basically, when it comes to this whole thing with recruiting with Facebook, remember what your core is. Your core is personal development, motivation, inspiration. Video is going to get you the most amount of mileage, guys. I'll tell you that for fact. Okay? And I'm not talking about putting a video on YouTube and taking the link and putting it on Facebook. Facebook penalizes you for that, just so you know. So if I take that link on YouTube, Facebook will hardly even show it. So if I have a YouTube link, I might get 30 views. If I take that same video and I post it on a download onto my Facebook wall, I will get 800 views. Okay, that's the difference, because they want to keep their business contained in Facebook. Okay, keep that in mind. So video, I'm telling you this, they will show video more than anything. Anything. If you want to get the most amount of exposure for you as a leader, keep in mind, the product, guys, the product in network marketing is not your antioxidant. It's not your skincare cream. It's not whatever else is you're out peddling. It's you. You're the product, and it's called leadership. That's the real product. Right? And if you want to gain followers and you want to gain duplication, you want to gain momentum, your goal is to step into your power as a leader, learn a strategy, implement the strategy, and share your results. You instantly have a following. Now, how am I going to share my results? What would be the best way that I could share my results? Tell me the best possible way, Chad, that I could share my results.
By doing a PowerPoint and a Hangout just like this.
Bingo. Now, here's the difference, guys, because I've watched a lot of people. I've watched a lot of people over the course of my 25 years as a marketer, and you know that the majority of them, they just skate around. They skate around it, and they skate around it, and they skate around it. They do not want to do this. Why?
Fear.
Why don't they want to do this? Vulnerability.
Fear.
They're afraid of what people are going to say. They're afraid of rejection, and they're afraid that they're going to mess up, right? So they're afraid of what other people are going to think, or what other people are going to say about them. Once you can get over that is when you're going to start making money. Big money, guys. Big money.
Can I jump in for a minute?
Absolutely.
So I work with a bunch of, my big thing is selling solo ads. That's my main business. I sell traffic, targeted traffic to people's websites, as you're quite aware yourself. One of the biggest things people are afraid of about MLM, and mine too as well, I've seen a lot of people dump a lot of money into MLM offers, 2-3 years ago, and they fear it. I mean, I can make $1,000 a day just with CPA and affiliate sales. So when I'm driving my traffic, rebuild my email list to send out better, new, fresh emails out to my customers, so that way they keep coming back more and more. Only reason why I jumped on this is because of a traffic source I'm using, and it's working out so well for Mark. I'm like, you know what? Mark's killing it. He's getting 30 to 40 new sales per thousand clicks, and we're doing 20,000 clicks. But that's the biggest fear is they'll be they'll be active members for a month or two, but then they'll just bail, and then you gotta keep driving it to it. Sometimes it's just from my standpoint, it's better to drive the traffic, make that quick sale, and move on.
I mean, it can be, and that is definitely a business. But I can tell you.
But this is where iPass changed it up. Is now you can socialize a lot easier with your customers. I was unaware of that until Mark told me. Yeah. That's a big deal, and that's the reason why I jumped in here.
Okay, so here's the difference. But you brought up some really, really good points, Jamie, that I want to address right now. What's so great about the iPass system, guys, is that right now the $7 trials and the $47 upgrades, and that as a unit becomes what's called a funded proposal, right? It pays for the business. It pays for the business. So it's going to create a marketing and advertising budget for your business, right? That's what the real source of that is for. It's made to build your list and pay for your business. But here's where the big money is. Here's the big money. So let's say, Jamie, that you just got on board, and I, on a specific night of the week, I have a new member coaching session, and I have 9 new members across here. And let's say that it's an hour and a half long. And I go down each one of these people, and I find out, okay, why did they start iPass in the first place? What's their driving force, right? And before we get into it, here's what I say to them. These are the words that I use. Guys, you know what? I mean, I'm going to ask you guys today to be a little bit vulnerable. I mean, I'm not going to push you totally outside your comfort zone, but if you're prepared to just open up. Okay, now what am I subliminally saying, right? I'm doing this with my words. If you guys are just prepared to just completely open up and be a little bit vulnerable, I'll be vulnerable too, right? I'll be able to give you way more value so that by the time we're done, you'll have a clear path and you will know that you will never ever have to worry about money again for the rest of your life. Right? Does that sound fair? And then everybody agrees all the way across. Now, if I can get each one of these people emotionally connected to their dream of what it is they want, why it is that they want it, right? And I can find what's their initial startup budget and what's their monthly ongoing budget. Now I can develop a plan and a strategy for each one of those people, right? So if a person says to me, well, Darren, I want to make $30,000 a month, and I go, okay, well, give me an idea. What sort of time frame are you talking about? I want to do it in 90 days, right? The only way that I can get them there is if they're a Black Card member, right? So I can adjust their goals, right, based upon a conversation, right? Now, keep in mind, it would be worth it for me to have a conversation with 9 people when that an hour and a half could produce $27,000 in an hour and a half, right? That's the maximum that it could do. $3,000 a pop times 9 is 27 grand, right? Now keep in mind, not everybody is going to go Black Card. So if somebody tells me, as an example, that they have a $500 budget to start, right? I'm going to try to push them just a little bit outside their comfort zone, right? And I'm going to get them to go silver, right, to get the top producer formula, a blog, and the mindset training, right? So you start to learn in the language, but none of that can happen, guys, without this type of thing. So you'll notice that all of the top leaders, all the top income earners, right, what I still call this income automation, because I got traffic going, I got my email blasts that are going, but what's my goal? This.
Hmm.
This right here is my goal.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have this, guys, guess what I don't have? This.
The relationship.
I don't have the relationship. And that's where people start to pull out their credit cards, where they have confidence that I'm not going anywhere, right? I'm on this path, and my goal is to take a whole army of people with me. How am I going to be able to do that? By teaching them everything that I know. Have I held anything back, Pat? I mean, we've only been working for a short period of time. Have I held any secrets back?
Never.
Nothing, right? Chad, have I given you my entire vault of everything that I know and just handed it over to you?
Over and over again.
Right? Have I ever said to you, you got to pay me more to get access to my vault? Never,
No.
right?
Not at all.
Right? So, and because of that, what's happened within 90 days? Chad Turner is stepped into his power, and he is leading people. That's the goal. That's the goal, guys. That cannot happen unless you're prepared to open the vault, right? Open the vault. Okay, and this is very simple because everybody here, guys, I want you to understand this. If you really get what I'm saying right now, it will amplify your personal power. Because guess what? If you're standing here on the front lines, everything in my vault is what's behind door number one. Now, if you learn how to use this properly, right? Unstoppable vision, how to recruit new reps in 6 to 45 minutes, unleash the alpha within, how to develop a 9K day mindset, all this stuff, all these webinars. All you got to do is put your username on the end, and you've got content. The moment that you start, brand new person, you've got extra value, extra bonuses that you can use, right, where you can be leaving a trail of birdseed behind you, right? Now, when you first started, Chad, you talked about two things that you were using. What were those things?
2 videos, one from Brian Tracy, Secrets of Self-Made Millionaires, and then also The Science of Getting Rich from Wallace D. Wattles.
Okay. Now, here's the important thing to get from this, guys. That had nothing to do with Chad. Chad was the messenger. Okay, so Chad didn't write the Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, but because he referred it to that person, it lifts him up and edifies him as a leader, right? Because that's what leaders do, right? Leaders give value. Leaders give content, right? Leaders give more bonuses, way more than what you would ever get in the program, right? If you get that, I'm telling you what, your goal should be, right, if you're doing this properly, is to piggyback off of my stuff to create your special sauce, right? But this, what we're doing right now, guys, okay, can you see how, Mary, let me ask you this. Do you feel that if you as a leader did this, what we're doing right here, and you did a little bit of Facebook stuff, lassoed people into your list, sent out an invite so they could come and meet you personally, and you did a new member coaching where you could find out more about those people and get them tapped into their vision and their dream, do you think that you would be making more money?
Oh, most definitely, yes.
Can you see how this has been the missing component that I was putting on chat the other night? I was trying to get you to really get this part.
Yeah, I can see it.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is what I will tell you guys. Guess who I learned this from?
David Wood.
I learned this from David Wood. Thank you very much. I learned this from David Wood. Right? And when I see the type of volume that he's doing, this is the answer, guys. So here's what I will tell you. When you first start, your best friends are going to be Facebook chat or Twitter chat, your videos, and your blog. Okay? Those are all free. Except the blog's going to cost you $25 a month, right? But that's your punch, right? That's going to help you to be branded as a leader, so that you're going to create the attractor factor, right? But the important part, right, that Dave was listing off, right? Tell me why you started the business. What's your vision? How much money do you want to make? What level of income are you currently accustomed to making right now? People say, Darren, how did you recruit so many people? How did you make $65,000 in such a short period of time? I ask those very similar questions, right? So once I have leverage, right? So somebody says they want to retire their mom, and they want to put an extension on their home, and they want to get a new car, and they want to leave their job. Once I have that, right, I've got leverage. I've got some power now, because they told me everything that they want. So now I can say, well, give me an idea. I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most serious. I mean, how serious would you say that you are about, and I read back all of those things. Now, if they don't give me a number that's 10 or higher, guess what I say? What do you think I say, Chad, when somebody gives me an 8?
I don't think this will be a fit for you.
I don't, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really think that there's going to be a fit here. And they go into shock. They're like, well, what are you talking about? And I go, if 20% of your mind right now is telling you that this is not going to work, in a week from now it's going to be 40%. 3 weeks from now it's going to be 80%. And I'm going to invest all this time into you, and 30 days from now you're going to quit anyway. So if you don't give me a number that's 10 or higher, I'm out. Because I'm certainly not going to invest down that rabbit hole, right? Would you want to invest in somebody that's going to quit 30 days later? I don't, right? You got to be thinking a year down the road, right? Because this is going to be personal development. Now, Mary, let me ask you this, because I posted something there in the group, I think last night. What do you think typically happens when you're on this path of personal development and it starts to get a little bit frustrating because you don't want to look in the mirror really and go inward, right? What starts happening around your environment with other people, right? Other people dangling the carrots. What happens?
Frustration.
So if you're in frustration, what do you think is going to be your universal test that's going to come up?
Well, nothing's going to happen for you. I mean, what's going to happen for you is what you're sending out. So you're going to get back exactly what you're feeling.
Okay, now here's what I will tell you. Typically what happens, guys, is that you will get an avalanche of people that will bombard you, telling you they have another thing over here that's really super easy. And you're going to make a lot more money over here if you come over here and promote this thing, right? What you got to realize is that it's going to be exactly the same. If you don't get through the personal development, if you don't step into your power as a leader, if you're not putting out valuable content, they're going to actually try to get you to go backwards to become a pitch person, back to the features and benefits business model. You already know doesn't work because you already came from that, and it was complete, no, not a good situation. So, that's typically what happens, just so you know, right? Well, this one over here, right? Oh, we got this, this travel deal. Oh, we got this skincare thing over here, right? That's typically what happens. You will get a barrage of people dangling like this. Well, I got this thing. Well, you making the kind of money you want over there? Well, I got this thing over here, right? So just be aware of that as you're on this path. So what I want for you to understand in the path of being a recruiter, what's going to determine whether or not you recruit new people in the day is, are you connecting with people, either through speaking to the listening on your Facebook posts, speaking to the listening on your Twitter, speaking to the listening on your videos, speaking to the listening on your blog, right? how are you connecting with people's pain, and how are you bridging over to provide the solution to their problem? Now, if you look at everybody's business, if you were just to interview 10 or 15 people in this industry and ask them what is their pain in their business, they will give you a list. Don't you think it would be a good idea if you had solutions to those problems? Right? That's what I did, guys. Right? People don't know what they want. Unstoppable vision. People can't recruit new reps. How to recruit new reps in 6 to 45 minutes. Right? People are going through the multiple realities. Unleash the alpha within. Right? People don't know what to do to develop the manifestation or how to develop the mindset. 9K day mindset. Right? That's called being able to solve the problems that you already know that are there. So why not have solutions to some of those problems? Does that make sense? So once I know that a person has pain, right, what's going to be my bridge? How am I going to bridge that over now, right? Here's the base internally within my core, right? I call this the polarity of the magnet. You know what? I mean, I don't even know if there's a fit here. I don't even know if there's a fit here. I don't even know if you'd be qualified. Now, if you're dealing with an A-type personality type, guys, I'm telling you what, they want to know what they got to do to be qualified now. It's just their nature, right? So, but internally, I don't even have to say those words. In my body, my physiology in my body, I'm saying internally, you know what? I don't even know if there's a fit here. That turns the polarity of the magnet around because I'm not pitching them, right? Here's my bridge, right? So you know, I find out that they've got some pain, right? So they you know, they're in between jobs or this they start telling me their life story. Oh, my wife got laid off, and you know, it's been really tough, and we've been behind, and you know, mortgage is falling apart, and I go, oh my God, I'm sorry to hear that. Could you use an extra 10 grand a month? Would that help? That's worked very well for me, guys. Now, it has to come through on a certain type of tone, but I've never had anybody go, no, I could never use that. I wouldn't help out, right? So that's worked very well, too. Here's another bridge, right, from the conversation, bridging to my business, right? They tell me if you got a business, here's what I want to know. Do you do it full-time or part-time? How long you been in, and how big's your team? I know how much money you're making right now with those things. Full-time or part-time, how long you been in, how big's your team? Right? I know how much money you're making. Right? You tell me you're doing it part-time, you're broke. Right? I go, well, let me ask you a question. Now, if you listen to Dave, he says that a lot. Well, let me ask you a question. Get good at saying that, guys, and really comfortable with saying that. Let me ask you a question. Right? Somebody asks you a question and it puts you in a position where you don't want to answer that because you want to take control. Well, let me ask you a question, Tom. Now you got control again, right? Well, let me ask you a question, right? So I'm in a situation where I'm in this pitter patter back and forth with the person, right? Right? So now I say to that person, well, let me ask you a question. You know, do you have a marketing and advertising budget? Like, what's your monthly marketing and advertising budget? They go, I don't have one. I go, who's your mentor? I don't have one. Bingo. I got them. Right? Just with those two things. They got no marketing and advertising budget, and they got no mentor. Right? So here's what I say. Well, you know what? I just found out how to help, you know, people in XYZ company generate a $2,000 to $3,000 monthly marketing budget for their business in 60 to 90 days. Now, what do you think most people say to me? Well, how do you do that, Darren? Right? So what do I say? Watch this video. And I'm bridged. Now I send them my link. Okay, now in the event that I've taken a ridiculous amount of massive action, for 30, 60, or 90 days, guess what I send after that? Some income results. Right, so if I, keep in mind when I did this rollout, like guys, I'm telling you, I was running hard because I had a vision: 10K in 30 days, 50K in 90 days. I was running that trail that I was blazing. I just had a dust trail going behind me in the desert. Okay, so what? All of a sudden, if I send them a total income for 90 days, which goes 4 months now, that shows 65,000, and month 3 at 25,000 for the month, you don't think I've got some pique and curiosity going? They're thinking, holy cow, like, how did you pull that off? Right? That's why it's so critical. That's why you'll see me do this like a horse. Okay, when I'm on a mission, this is me. Okay? I don't see anything else. There's where I'm going. Right? Okay? If it's not within this little vision right here, I don't even see it. Okay? The drama, what's that? I'm on a mission right here. 2 reps a day, 2 reps a day, 2 reps a day. I know that if I'm going to break 2 reps in a day, I need to have about 20, 25 connections. Right? Bottom line, pretty simple. Right? If I'm giving value and I'm lassoing people together, I can tell you this: if these are brand new people, this is something that I have done, and I highly recommend you doing this. Okay? I go, who here is currently having a problem in their home-based business? I'm going live in 30 minutes with Millionaire Mentoring, and we're going to solve your problem right now. And I go live with the panel. Now, you've got to be able to, not be afraid of the fire. I'm telling you what, you got to put your feet to the fire, guys, because that's live. And there's spillover going on YouTube, and I'm letting people watch. Okay, so I'm complete vulnerability. Okay, right across the panel. People are going to ask me questions about leads. They're going to ask me questions about how to overcome rejections. They're going to ask me questions about how to approach people. The whole gamut. Everything. Blogging, video, everything. Right across the panel. Right? Live. Now, I'll tell you what happens after that. Do you know that all those people want to know what I do after that? And they follow my content after I do that. But that's called putting your feet to the fire. Okay? And not everybody is going to want to do that, right? I'm just telling you that it's very highly effective when you are you step into your... That's why I tell people to do the firewalk, guys. To be quite honest, that's the reason. Because if you can get through the firewalk, you will easily do that and have no problem with it. No problem, right? Because it takes your frequency to a higher zone of resonance, and you can think really, really fast, right? But that's something that I would recommend. Okay, so keep in mind, if I can find out what's happening in your life, identify pain, identify a problem, pique your curiosity, and get out of the way. Okay, that's what you want to get good at: piquing the curiosity and getting out of the way. Right? So people say, Darren, what do you do for follow-up? I'm blazing a trail so fast that if you watch my video and you don't want to participate, you're not even a fit for my team anyway. Right? By that time, I've already got 3 black card members coming on board. Right? So what I say to people is this: you've got to put your resonance into forward momentum with an intention. What's your intention? Because once you set your intention and you start speaking it into the reality, and there's a difference between I'm driving an Aston Martin, right, which is positive, but it's not emotional, to I'm driving an Aston Martin. Big difference. It's emotional, right? So, if I can get that person connected to their dream, right, and I can find out what do they want, why do they want it, and what's their budget, they're in, guys. What do they want? Why do they want it? What's their budget? Right? So let me ask you a question, Tom. I mean, for you to totally walk away from real estate, I mean, how much money would you have to make per month? Darren, I'd have to make 10 grand a month. I got him. Well, give me an idea. I mean, what do you want $10,000 a month for? He starts spending the money, right? He starts spending the money. And I go, well, I mean, let me ask you a question. I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, I mean, how serious would you say that you are about da 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 da? He goes, oh man, I'm a 10. Really? Tell me why. 3 words. Okay, 3 words. Tell me why. He's now selling me on his dream. Okay? He's now selling me. I'm not selling him. He's selling me on why he wants his dream. Now watch this. Let's say that I know that I've got an amount of, say, I don't know, even just the blog, the Inner Circle Mindset, the Pro with iPass, and the Top Producer Formula. Okay, so let's say it was about $750. So here's an example. Well, let me ask you this, Tom. If I was to tell you that my students make as much as $7,500 their very first month, and as much as $11,500 by month 2, and it was only, say, $750 to get started, what would you say? Now, most of them say, I would say I would want to be your next student. I would say I would want to find out how you did it. I would say I would want to find out more information. That's what most say, guys, just so you know. Right, so if I was to tell you that, right, and it was only X amount. Now, you may want that X amount to be your inner circle amount, right? So it might be 250, right? The 97 plus the 145, right? So it would be, 245, right? So let's say that that's your number. So you would say, well, if I was to tell you that we have people on our team, right, making as much as $7,500 the very first month, $11,500 month 2, and it was only $250 to get started, what would you say, right? Can you see how you could use that as a bridge, Chad?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So, Jessica, are you still there? We lost Jessica. Okay, Mary, any closing comments? Oh, there's you.
Lots of good content.
Jessica,
Lots to think about. Lots to go work on.
perfect. Awesome, awesome. Can you really see, though, how simple this really is when you break it down like this? It's not difficult, is it?
No. I've been getting
It's
into
really easy.
definitely making 25 contacts daily, every day.
And how's that been working?
It's been going good. I've given out my link yesterday, I think, to about 3 or 4 people. So I'm getting to the point more, and I seem to have a lot of friend requests coming in that are from MLM people that have been in network marketing before. So
Fantastic. Awesome. We're looking forward to being in Nashville.
yes, I'll be there. I
Okay.
got everything booked.
Awesome. So, guys, in closing, what I want to just mention to you is this, is that the breakthroughs happen at the events. Okay? The breakthroughs. I'm talking about where you move into being unstoppable, right, where you're completely bulletproof. And you know without a shadow of a doubt that you're going to take your life to 7 figures plus. It happens at the events, guys. Okay? It will happen in Nashville, right? Nashville's going to be our biggest, baddest event that we've ever done in 3 years with this company. So I highly recommend you want to book yourself into Nashville and do whatever it takes. I mean, I know people that have hitchhiked to get to our events, right? Because they couldn't afford the plane. So they hitchhiked a week in advance just to get to the event. People have done that. There's been people that have actually slept in their car just so they could be at that event. Right? They bunked up with 5, 6, 7 people in one room just so that they could be at the event. Right? That's how life-changing that they are. Okay, now we've got the any closing comments to the husky? Look at the dog. I love it. This is classic. Oh my god.
No. I guess, I mean, I don't know what your guys' what your group does for traffic or what their sources or how they revenue traffic. I don't know, like budget-wise, but if you guys need any traffic advice or any way to monetize a list, let me know. I can give you guys a copy of my WSO for free. Be some good reading for you guys, some more training.
Sure.
Teach you guys how to monetize your list to other situations. So you
Okay,
can keep doing both, like I'm doing. I monetize my list both ways. I monetize it for iPass and also Soul Ads. Just this month, I was curious about what you said. Just this month, I kind of went through and see what I did for Soul Ads this month. I did a little over $20,000 in Soul Ad sales this month.
And how big is your list, Jamie?
I have 4 lists. Each list is probably around 50 to 60,000, between 40 to 60,000 each list.
And what was the strategy? What was the strategy that you used to build the list?
Really good traffic sources. Warrior Forum. If you guys belong to the Warrior Forum, there's some really good reading there as well. We haven't launched our WSO yet. We'll be getting ready to launch it here in the next few days. We're posting all of our main people who we buy traffic from in there. All the legitimate marketers. I don't know if you guys are aware of what's going on. Yeah, people have really good testimonials on the Facebook groups, but I'm going to say 10% of them are fake. People are trading. They're swapping testimonials. Hey, you give me a testimonial this week, I'll give you one next week. So you got to be real cautious about that. So for my traffic, I use one source only, and like I said, we'll be releasing it in our WSL. So if you guys want access to that, let me know. I'll create you an account. You guys can go through and read through it, and there's some really good information in there.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So like I said, we're testing those traffic sources, and we're posting them up in there, so you guys can have access to them.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so Chad, any closing comments at all?
I just want to, reiterate that you made a couple really key points on fine-tuning the conversational marketing about really making the person qualify to even see the video, So I know I'm going to watch the video again just to fine-tune it, because a lot of the things that you talk about I do, and then there's a couple little tweaks right at the end before they even get access to the video that doing that is just going to throw the conversions through the roof.
Exactly. Right on, right on. Okay, Mary, any closing comments?
Nope, I'm good, thanks.
Okay. Did you learn anything today?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I've learned a lot.
Okay, Pat, you got this funny blackout internet thing going on there. You must be in some rockin' party going on in New York.
Yeah, well, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Good. First of all, thank you so much for the invite tonight. Secondly, my apologies to if my thing here, if it distracted you. And third, I really saw that. Definitely, I really resonate with the fact that Google Hangouts or PowerPoints are very important to do as leaders, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, but as a team, we'll all come out and support each other and do that kind of a hangout as we become more comfortable with our own worthiness to do them for ourselves and other people.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And guys, you know what? Pat really hit it on the head right there. Okay, she really did. Our biggest fear in stepping into leadership, right, is stumbling and falling. Right?
Yeah.
Worried about what other people are going to think or say, or that we're going to fumble. Right? It's like, being in a situation where you have to catch that winning touchdown and worrying that you're going to fumble, right? And then everybody's going to, laugh at you or gang up on you or whatever, right? You got to take that stuff out of your mind, guys, okay? The only way that you're going to take your life to the next level is learn, implement, and share. That's how you gain a following, right? So if you're not learning, right, then the rest of them aren't even going to matter, right? But if you're learning, right, and you're doing some implementation, but you're not sharing as a leader, people won't look to you as a leader. Does that make sense? Right? Does that make sense to you guys? If you're learning and implementing, but you're not doing the sharing part, like this, right, where you're going live with your screen, where you're doing live recruiting, where you're just taking people into your world. If you're not doing that, how would you expect those people to follow you? Think about it, right? Okay, guys, so it's a wrap. You got Darren Little here live from Maui, Hawaii. I got 2 days left. I'm gonna be in the fun here for 2 more days, and then I'm back to that.
What'd you golf?
I golfed 100 today. I was no
No 75 or 80.
I was no Tiger Woods out there today. Let me tell you.
Where are you from, anyways?
From Vancouver,
Vancouver,
Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're kind of close. You're kind of close to me.
Where were you?
I live in Oregon.
Oh, okay, cool. Right on. Okay, guys, awesome. Well, I enjoyed this this time together, and you'll be able to watch this on the replay later if you like to, get more from it. And we're on a really good path right now. iPass goes live tonight with their new back office. Over the next week, they'll be putting in more videos. As you can see, if you've been on Tuesday and Thursday mentoring with Empower Network, if you just follow this formula, it'll completely change your life. Once you have somebody that takes the trial, if you book that new member coaching, you get them through that interview to find out their budget, your sales are going to start to go like this, guys. Okay? So you've got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes. I look forward to meeting you in person one day, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Bye for now.